Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Delta Airlines Flight 2998 bound for Atlanta, Georgia, with continued service to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport.
Being away from home is not an easy decision. Being away from family and friends is not an easy decision. Making such decisions must be carefully thought out, because moving to a new country has challenges and difficulties, and it is a double-edged sword. Being away from home is of two types. The first is compulsory, which is when a person is forced to leave his country and move to another country for several reasons, such as when his life is in danger due to wars and destruction, or to search for a better life opportunities, or to exercise his rights and the freedom of expression. As for the second type, is when this decision is made by person's choice. For example, when he wants to study and obtain a degree, or to learn about a new culture and gain experience. When moving away from the homeland, you should not keep in mind that you are alienated, so that you don't feel the clock does not tick and the time is so long, because the time that passes does not come back. So, you must organize the time, hold the paper and the pen, planning and setting goals, start implementing them, taking advantage of the available opportunities, or even create opportunities. Work hard and persevere to achieve these dreams.
Fadi is Fadi, Abu Laith, different names, but the name is Bassam Mansour, born and raised in Azzoun, Palestine, under occupation. Migrated to the States back in the early 80s to go to college. Moved down to New Orleans, University of New Orleans, where I get my master's degree, all in engineering, civil engineering. In 88, the Army called on me to come and work for them down here in North Carolina. So I moved in 88, March 88, to North Carolina from New Orleans. So I've been in Wilmington since 88. That gives me 33 years almost here in this town.
ريما مرأة فلسطينية مجنونة أحكي بالإنجليزي هلا. Palestinian woman who is crazy, left her own land to come to America thinking that she can make a new life in here. So it was 2002 when I came to this country. I came by myself. I had nobody, I don't know anybody. So I took the journey January 2002, and I came to Wilmington out of all these places in America. And I met Bassam in here in Wilmington, and he told me that I'm crazy. I am originally, my education, I am a pharmacist, so I worked back home in a hospital. I was on top of the world. I was making enough money to live a good life in there, but the war messed it up for us. It was really hard to live, like you don't have freedom at all. You just, all cities are disconnected from each other with all these borders, and you can't go from place to place because you have checkpoints from city to city. Even though the city is like maybe an hour away from you, you spend all day long until you get to the other city. So I didn't like that kind of life, so I wanted more freedom. I wanted more like something bitter life. We wanted to live a nicer life that we deserve.
That was a very tough kind of a situation. I left my town right after high school. When I finished high school, I went to Egypt. I was going to study to be a pilot in Egypt. And things did not work out. That was in 79 and 80. Went back home to Palestine. Went back and worked with my father with his business. Then in 81, my brother got me an I-20. He was teaching in college in Amman, Jordan. So I left home, went to Amman, Jordan, spent a couple of weeks with him. Then he got me on the airplane and goodbye. And that was a very scary time for a 20-year-old little villager, has not seen much of the world. It was a mess, but I survived. I survived. It was very scary times.
The war and the mistreatment to women, like women, they don't have rights. They didn't give them like much of a decision in there. Yeah, especially when it comes to law. Law is against women. It's not religion. Religion is not with. I agree. Religion is with women.
Once you get a good control of the language, once you know the language, you know more about the culture, you know about the people and the customs, you start getting acquainted more and more. You start getting more relaxed.
I wanted a different life, a different way of for myself and my kids. I didn't want my kids to live a life that it's full of fear, and I wanted my daughters to live also a dignified way. Yeah, so that was the reason for me to leave and come to America. And after that, I met him, we got married, and we had kids together, and yeah.
Honestly, I feel this is home. Because when I went overseas to work, that was home. I call this home. And I left my wife and kids home in Wilmington. I always came every 3-4 months to visit back and forth. So really, the way I see it, when your father and mother pass away, your connection becomes less and less. You go less to visit because you visit more with your father and mother. It's less when you have brothers and sisters. So home for me right now is Wilmington is home.
Home where you live, where you make, to me, Wilmington is home. I love Palestine, I love to go back, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. My mom and dad passed away, so it doesn't feel like home anymore. My brothers and sisters, they live in there. I love them dearly. I call them, I talk to them all the time. You have freedom, you can practice your religion, you can practice whatever you believe in here, and nobody will stop you. There is no limit in here. In there, it's completely different. You are just controlled by this and that, and you don't have much freedom.
You have good memories here, your current home, and you have good memories in your original home and your place of birth, which is always going to be having a special place in your heart, where you were born and raised and you grew up and your parents lived and died and the house you lived in, all those matters.
So when I came here, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna find a job, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna make a lot of money. Within like 10 years, I'm gonna go back home and build the tower in there, and I will be the queen in there. It doesn't. It's hard. You have to start from the bottom and you climb the ladder. So I started looking for a job in here, and I found a job at CVS. I worked for a little bit. And then after that, with the kids in school and my husband traveling, going back and forth to different countries overseas, so I decided to work for the school system. So I worked for the school system for 12 years. I decided I want my family all together. I didn't want him to be traveling too much. I wanted him to be here with us, and instead of being like long distance relationship. My husband is there, most of his year is there, like we see him one month of the year. 1 month of the year. So we decided to open halal business.
I always wanted to go to school, wanted to be an engineer, wanted to advance, and I wanted first to be a pilot because they were talking about so much traveling, so much fun and all that. I always was fascinated with the Western movies, cowboys and shooting, all the beautiful blonde women and all that stuff. So that was in my mind. That was a picture.
I was looking for a pharmacy, but I said, okay, pharmacy in here is just crazy because you have CVS, all chain pharmacies. You can't do it like overseas. You can open your own pharmacy and practice. So we decided to go with halal food, which is what we know, our food, Mediterranean food. And I know how to make it all. And it's delicious. People love it.
People change careers multiple times during their lives. You don't really stay in the same job all your life. You get bored and you get stagnant. You don't want to be stagnant and no advancement. You want to move. So when you get to the point where you reach the maximum level in your job, you start looking for other things. Plus, sometimes people have hobbies, have different things. Of course, yes, I love food, I love eating, no doubt about it, and I cook and do that. I love that. We used to entertain our friends, cook for them, bring 10, 20 people, our friends. They used to love her cooking. So why don't you open a restaurant? Why don't you open something where we can, make you some money? And this, she started thinking about that. And eventually she got there. So I was sending her money. She was saving the money, putting aside, and here we go. She opened a restaurant out of that. That shows you what a great wife.
This is our dining room. We always loved entertaining. When he was working for the army, always we entertained people. They come into our, not house, the clubhouse where we used to live. And I used to cook and we used to entertain people. So this is like, it's our thing. Like it's social. You social with people, you get to know people, and you feed them healthy, and you make money at the same time. So you kill too many birds in one stone.
Look, it's fantastic though. It's great because you get to interact with so many people, so many personalities, so many backgrounds, and you get to know about people and their issues and problems, and you get to talk with people. People get to know you. Of course, sometimes I don't remember names like I used to, but I know people.
It's funny that I remember everybody's name and everybody's order. So when they come in here, I don't treat them as like they are just cash or just ding money and that's it. No, it's to us, they are more like family. We treat them like family, and we try our best to make them feel like they are coming to our dining room, like at home. And they are socializing with us and they are eating our food. And they come in here sincerely. They love us like we are friends since ever. And they want us to stay in business. That's another thing. They really care about us, and we care about our customers so much that they want us to stay in business, and we want them to stay coming in here, and we keep that relationship going.
My relationship, a lot of it personal. They know me. A lot of people know me. They may not remember my name, but they know me as King B, because that's my code name. And they know me well, that they know when we are open, when we are closed. They know about our fasting month. They know about our holidays. When we have a death in the family, they know about that. I know the people. I know most of them, I know their names. I always find something common with the people. And the people are really open and sincere. My relationship with them can get very personal. If you know the people and you connect with the people, they become family. My family is such an enlarged family. There are so many friends like that. 2-3 weeks ago, Friday, like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, we got a phone call from back home. Her father passed away, my wife's father passed away. And she's cooking on the grill. She did not leave the grill. She put up the phone, continued, she said, Bahzad, I said, what? She said, my father passed away. What I said, she said, we have a job to do. And we have the dining hall half full. And people felt bad. I said, no, continue. The people kept coming until 9 o'clock that night. One of the customers said, what's happening? I said, why she? I said, her father just passed away. The next day they come back with a nice bouquet of flowers and plants and all that to show a sign of sympathy. And that's my customers. Another customer come one day, brought us a big foot massage machine because we stand on our feet so long. He said, when you go home, hook it up and put your feet in it, they give you a massage. And that's the kind of customer. You don't price that. Those things are priced. That's based on what? Genuine, caring, and love and relationship with the customer. He's not a customer. He become a friend. He become a family because that's part of me. And all that stuff, of course, you learn it. It's in our culture, in our custom. I love it from my father. I spent a lot of time with my father and my grandfather when I was little. And I'm thankful for that, alhamdulillah. I try to teach the same thing to my kids because there is things in school you will never learn in school and books. You can learn in life, in real life, on the ground, from your father, your brother, your uncle, your mother. That's where you're gonna get that because those people been around more than you and I, and you can learn a lot from them.
name is Mohammed Bahzad. I'm from Kuwait, and I started my education journey in the US when I was 18 years old. 2 days after my 18th birthday, I took my first flight to the US, and it was my first flight flying with no family member at all. So it was quite a journey. And I've been 8 years now in the US, back and forth between the US and Kuwait, doing my undergrad and grad, and now I'm doing my PhD in mechanical engineering. Now we are in the material lab where we synthesize our material, and we test it in a different lab for its performance and efficiency. And as you guys can hear, the machine are running behind me. There is some experiments going on behind me.
Now on the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found.
This is my workshop at home where I spend most of my free time and have fun working on my cars. Behind me here is a 2001 Ford Mustang Cobra. I'm installing a Chevy Corvette engine in it, so I'm combining my mechanical engineering knowledge with some of my handy skills to put this car together. To me, this is the ultimate pressure relief and fun in the weekend that I practice, and a hobby that I love that helped me be a more efficient student throughout the week. And I make a lot of friends and practicing these hobbies too. I highly recommend students who are deciding whether to stay home or go abroad and take the challenge of studying away from your family and in a new environment. Go ahead, it's gonna be fun, you're gonna learn a lot, and it's gonna be the time of your life for sure.
Hopefully, inshallah, you'll make it up high with the Hollywood big hits.